Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a budget review for the month of April in the Budget by Paycheck Workbook. And if you are not familiar with this budget planner, there are worksheets towards the end of the month that'll help out with reviewing your monthly, so how your budget ended up for the month. So starting with this worksheet here, which comes right after all of the expense trackers, it's the first worksheet in the back. It is the debt payment plan. So what it has on here is all of the credit cards, balances, interest rate, minimum, and the order that you want to pay it off. I just go ahead and put it in the snowball order that I'd like to pay it off already. Thankfully, we only have 4 more debts to pay off. We have 2 credit card debts and 2 student loan debts total to pay off, compared to, oh my gosh, 2 years ago there was like 11. Oh my goodness. So we've come a long way. Other things that I like to put on here as well is our credit scores, because once we're done paying off all of our credit card debt, we do want to try to sustain or try to get our credit scores. Our goal is to be above 800. So we'll see how that goes. We do plan to get a house, so hopefully that'll help us out. But anyways, so as far as credit card balance goes, we have $4,028 left. I did make a note here that with the interest rate for this credit card here, for the Wells Fargo card, it did drop a little bit. It was at 16.9% before, and I looked at it right now, or on May 5th when I was doing this, it was at 14.65%, so it did go down. My Barclay card is still at 0% as long as we pay it off by October. And then for my student loans, I have the Navient with a balance of $2,840. 5.55%, minimum payment is $116.72. With my federal loan, I was wondering why it wasn't being taken out of my account, because it's on auto pay. So what ended up happening was it was under that forbearance because of COVID-19. I was automatically enrolled to not have to pay for it, but I went ahead and declined it and paid for April. Since my husband is still working and everything budget-wise is still moving just like normal for us, gratefully, thankfully. So total student loan debt is $17,313, which gives us a total debt of $21,341. Other notes that I made on here is that my very first credit card that I've ever had, I don't use it, but there is a monthly fee of $5. I'm still looking into it as far as whether or not I'm going to cancel it, because it is my longest line of credit. And then my Capital One, my other one, I've just been going back and making sure that these 2 accounts are at 0, because when we had paid it off at the end of February, I guess there was interest that wasn't paid for, so I ended up paying, I think it was like $13 this month. But so far it's at 0 balance after I paid off that interest. Extra debt payment, I did make an extra debt payment to Barclay card of $432, and so my total debt payments this month, minimum plus extra, was $802. And then down here at the bottom, for monthly debt progress, we are 0.78%, so a percent into our monthly debt progress. But overall, when we started in 2018, we were at 46,000. And now we are at 21,341. So we have paid off 24,688. So we did pay off a little bit more than half of our debt now, which looks nice to look at compared to when we first started. So that is it with my debt payment. Moving on to the monthly net worth tracker here. Not much. All of our assets is just cash, which we don't have any right now. Checking account currently at the time that I was writing this down. Savings number 1, which I call, it's our emergency fund. Thankfully, since we did get a stimulus check, we did put everything, or not everything, we put $3,000 into our emergency fund, and then $400 went into our miscellaneous savings. And the Kelley Blue Book values of our vehicles are right here. So we don't plan on selling our car or anything, but we do own them now, so we don't have a car payment, so which is nice. And then our liability is our credit cards and student loans, which is $21,341. Total net worth compared to last month. Last month we were at negative $8,495, and this month we are at $4,101 because we did put a chunk of money into our savings. So moving on to what we spent for the month. So again, I forgot to highlight whether or not we went over. Usually I like to highlight which ones we went over and which budget categories we were under in. But with this Where Did My Money Go worksheet, starting balance when we started off for the month was $135, and our total incoming income was $6,381. And I just wrote a bunch of notes of what that amount is from, which is from my husband's paychecks, stimulus check. We did get a DirecTV refund. We did pull from our savings number 2 at the beginning of the month, and then any leftover amounts from the previous budget, which gives us a total of $6,517 for the month. And with our monthly spending here, I am tracking 28 days, so this is 28 days of spending. So with food, we did go over by $20. Transportation, we were under. Household, we were over by $15. Kids, we were under. My husband was under. I went over by $20. Fun and events, we didn't spend any there, or I didn't budget any as well. Miscellaneous or a cushion, we were under by $22. Rent, I know it looks like we didn't pay for rent. However, the previous budget, so for March, we did pay rent twice because towards the end of March, one of the paychecks did cover our April 1st rent. So that's why it's 0 here. And then debt, we did pay an extra $443. Utility, under by $4. Insurance, under by $3. Medical and dental, 0. But we do have to pay for the rest of my son's oral surgery, which was canceled. So that's been put at a hold. And then savings, we did put $3,650. And then here at the bottom, with my total income, or our total income minus total amount that we spent, we had a leftover of $150, which we did balance. It was $149.99 that was rolled over into the May budget. So I'm glad that that balanced out. It drives me crazy when it doesn't balance. And then with the monthly debt and savings breakdown, basically with our percent of our income, 12% of our income went towards paying off debt, 56% of our income went towards our savings, and this is just a breakdown of what percentage of that amount went to each category. So for student loans, 68% of our debt payment went to student loans, and 32% went towards credit cards. Wait, that's backwards. It should be flipped because we paid more with our, yeah, that's totally flipped because we did make that extra payment for credit cards. So my bad. That's totally flipped around. And then for savings, 82% of what we saved went into our emergency fund, and 18% went into our miscellaneous. Okay, so moving on to Where Did My Money Go? Monthly spending comparison. This month is going to be a little off, or way off actually, because for the month of March, like I said, I was tracking 3 paycheck periods, which was 42 days, compared to what I normally track, which is 28 days, which is 2 paycheck periods, because we do get paid bi-weekly, so every other week. And I did make some notes down here as to why certain categories was more than usual. It was my son's 3rd birthday. We didn't have a big party, just small and intimate. We did pay half of our dental bill, paid for our Scion registration. We booked our Hawaii trip. We received our income tax refund. We paid off 4 cards and paid for April rent with our March 20th paycheck. And then notes for April is that we received our stimulus check and made an extra credit card payment. So with our budget categories for March, I am just going to compare the percentages of our budget versus the dollar amount. So for March, 5% not of our budget. This is percentage of our income. And our income for March was $17,153. And if you watched my video where I recapped March, you guys know that part of this is a combination of my husband's paycheck, savings, and our income tax refund. So that's why it's so high. And then our income for April is $6,517, which it would have been lower if we didn't get our stimulus check. So for food in March, 5% of our income went to food, and in April, 7% of our income went to food. And transportation was 5% in March, 3% in April. And a lot of these are really low. So for household is 1% in March, and then 2% in April. Let me just skip towards something big here. So for rents, it's 16% of our income went towards rent in March because we did pay twice. Well, not twice, but we paid for March rent and April rent with this tracking period. And we didn't have a rent payment for April. And then for debt, in March, 29% of our income went to debt, and 12% of our income in April went to debt. And then utility, 5% in March and 7% of our income in April. And then, and our medical/dental, 10% of our income went towards paying our dental bill. And we didn't make that payment in April. We're not going to make that payment until the dentist gives us a go-ahead or a date of when we can schedule my son. And then savings, we only put $100, so that was 1%. And then 56% of our income in April did go to savings. Anyways, that is pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you in the next one. Have a great day, guys. Bye.